Okay, hello everybody. Welcome from Berlin. My name is Andreas Gebhardt. You meet me in Berlin Mitte, and I'm the CEO and founder of Republica, and I'm very glad and happy to be with you, even if it's only online, to my session. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the situation of our event and our team at Republica in Berlin. And I have prepared a few links for you, so I will drop them in the chat, and so you can maybe have a look at it later. And oh, it's too much content. I have to empty it again. So basically, I'm invited to talk about the situation we were facing at Republica in the last couple of months. And Republica, as you find in the first link here, is a conference about the digital society. So we are kind of a sister event to what we are having here with Bread&Net. And the focus is quite similar. We're talking about the digital society. This is the core content we are talking about. And started back in 2007, the event had grown very, very constantly to more than 25,000 people visiting us in 2019 from around 70 different countries all over the world. And as you what happened this year in March, we had to cancel our this year's event. We had to stop all the preparations at the 12th of March. The 12th of March, that was really one of the nightmare days because of the pandemic. The lockdown was coming. So I can share the links with you in some at some point later. So coming back to what I was talking about, in March, we had to cancel all our activities for the Republica event, which was planned in May 2020, and it was really funny. It was really funny that we were preparing our event in May with the motto "as soon as possible." So it was kind of prophetic, and that we already chosen this topic back in 2018 for the topic for this year's event. So as soon as possible is still the topic we are facing. What we want to do is that will happen as an event as soon as possible again. So back to the days in March this year, we had to cancel from one day to the other everything we were thinking about doing in May. So we had invited more than 1,000 speakers for this physical events from all around the globe. So we had to shut down everything what we were expected to do. We had to pay back a lot of money to our sponsors and partners. So we came in a really bad situation. But it was clear for us that we don't want to be in the situation canceling everything what we are planning to do in May. So we very soon after we had to cancel the physical event, we came up with the idea of Republica Remote. Remote was a concept we set up 50 days in before it happened at the 7th of May this year. And everybody was kind of discussing, okay, these guys from Republica, they live in the digital society. They know how to do digital events. They must be the experts. And of course we had some experience, but back in the time we started Republica as a physical event because we want to meet physically the people who we talking to, reading about in blogs online. It was never our goal to be just an online event, and the physical happening character, the festival character, we try to set up is the core thing we do at Republica. So the first thing we tried to accomplish was this Republica remote, and in this we had really good feedback from our community. More than 100,000 people showed up at the event online, and of course we've been all not physically together. We had a TV studio, and we pre-recorded a lot of sessions, and we had a bigger green screen technology studio where we could do some nice technical things. But it was, of course, not the same as a physical event. But we could manage, and that I was really surprised by myself. At the afternoon of the event, it really felt a bit like a normal Republica, because everybody was online on Twitter, was online on Facebook, being in the chat, and we organized it back in the days on the Zoom platform. We had for every session a breakout session afterwards. So it was a very light technology deep dive for people to getting into it. And of course we try to have this network platforms also. At Republica in Berlin, we always have it's a backyard where people are meeting. It's between all the stages and the trade show halls, and we copied it into the digital, and even with this format where nobody is preparing a program, we had more than 2,000 people showing up there. So it was a very interesting success. But at that time, we thought, okay, maybe in summer we could do something new again with a lot of people. But then it became clearer and clearer that big events wouldn't be allowed in Germany. So we thought about doing more prototypes. So we tried to think, okay, what is besides of a totally digital virtual remote event is the next thing. The next thing is the hybrid version of Republica. Also with having in mind that it is a preparation for future Republicas, that maybe we should be also a hybrid conference where people can show up from all over the world and watching, but also people coming together. So that concept we started in September this year, and it was called Republica Campus. And Campus was a format in an old factory hall where we could host a limited amount of people showing up, but also mainly focusing on the online format. So it was this hybrid idea, and it was from beginning of September till beginning of October. So it was one complete month. Every day we had a program, and we had an exhibition, which was very interesting because we always wanted to do an art exhibition, but we never realized it. So we could do it now, that people visit this exhibition and also see talks and topics of our conference program. And of course, we had the challenge that we want to have digital-oriented art pieces, which usually are interactive, where people maybe have to touch things. And so we have a touchless version of all the artworks in there. I have also put a link to the campus in the list of links. I send it. And there are a couple of recap videos about everything I'm talking about. Besides that, we also try to bring our people's free of charge and open air festival, which is called Netzfest, into the digital. This part of Republica is organized as a public event, so people can show up without buying a ticket, being there with not so professional approach, so getting a little more lower entrance barriers. It's for people who are not usually attend conferences, but also want to know what's happening in the digital society. So we also could bring that into a new digital version. And there are a couple of interesting videos also online where we explain the different aspects of digital society on a more easy language level, so people can access without too much knowledge about it in before. So what else we could achieve this year was, as you all know, Berlin is a very music and club oriented city. There are so many live venues and clubs, and everything was shut down since March, so nobody could see a concert or go to a party. And all the artists, of course, and the venues and all the ecosystem around been in a very bad situation and could have no work. And we did an interview series. So I will send to Barbara a couple of other links. The topic here was Heimspiel. Heimspiel is a series of interviews with about I think 40 different musicians and artists from Berlin. It's also like a documentary about the situation of musicians, artists, but also the ecosystems, club and venue doers, and so people from a lot of different backgrounds been interviewed, because Republica all over, as I understand it, it was always a zeitgeist documentary of what happens. And so this is an interesting part of what we could achieve this year, with some partners that we later, if this pandemic is hopefully soon history, we could see what the challenge of arts had been, and how artists been struggling, and then we in the near future, hopefully, we will see how the cultural life is coming back to a city like Berlin. I'm happy to announce a few things today here, and one thing is event format we will do in December. Hopefully, you all want to join, because it's also online, of course, and we do it together with the German Federal Foreign Office, and it's the next edition of Future Affairs. I also posted the link. Future Affairs is a conference about the foreign politics and policies of Germany, and we did it first time last year together with the Auswärtiges Amt, and it is focused on mainly the South America region, but it's of course super interesting to watch for everybody who is interested in foreign politics and the digital society. This is also a part of what we try to do with Republica: work together with clients, work together with partners, a little bit like an agency, and that's what we have to do, because we don't want to unemploy all our team members, so we had to find new ways to finance our work. So this is one of the projects. It's called Future Affairs Next. It's happening on 14th of December, so it's only 10 days from today, and you can subscribe and check in for free. And it's a half-day conference online. 2 weeks ago, we published our strategy for the next weeks and months, because everybody was asking us, okay, what are you doing now? What is your plan? And as you all maybe be in the same situation, we are very, very tired from this year, not only because of the medical situation, but more because of the uncertainties and of the situation that we do not be able to do a proper planning for an event. So we've usually in these days, we would have a call for participation for our conference happening in the next year, May. So people would think about topics they want to present. We are already in the early bird ticket sale, etc., and we can't do it for next year, May. We don't know what's happening then, and we don't want to become into in the same situation we've been in this March, that we couldn't do what we had organized for nearly half a year in before. So we directly announced that the next real Republica will happen in May 2022. So it is very important to take a little bit the pressure away from our team and the expectations, because we really don't want to be in the same situation again, that we have to cancel and do not know what happens. That does not mean that we will not do something interesting in the same way we tried this year. We will have another prototype of remote Republica in May. We will announce about that in a few days, more information. But it makes life for us much easier that we could set up a total new Republica as we know and love it in 2022. And in 2022, we have no time for planning. And my idea, and this is also the end of my short talk about what Republica is doing at the moment. I want to include all of you to have a discussion how we can bring together the MENA region and the Republica in Berlin, so the Pan-Arabic and the Central European context together, maybe also with a mixed format for 2021. I'm very, very happy to be invited here in this session, and I'm not really sure how Q&As could happen, but I would love to have some questions or some remarks from you, that we can have a fruitful planning discussion also in the next days and months about what Republica and Bread&Net and all the community people around it can organize for the next 18 months. So thanks for listening, and I'm not sure how that happens now, but I'm just waiting for a second. Thank you.